Woof, woof. Bark, bark. Woof, woof, bark, bark. What do you think, Barky Parky? What do you think? Think about it, Dave. Got any ideas? Got any little old ideas in that little old head of yours? Got your little old ideas flowing out of your little old head there. Praise Paul, indeed. Yeah, praise Paul. There's only one Paul. Don't take your Paul for granted. You praise your Paul. You pamper your Paul. Afternoon? Well, it's not really afternoon for me just yet. It's very close. In about 10 minutes, it'll be afternoon for me. And that, my friends, is good news. Season, Paul? What would you season me with? I feel like a pineapple demi-glaze, a pineapple bourbon demi-glaze would be fucking banging with some Paul. Make yourself a little bourbon pineapple demi-glaze. I think that's the way to go with it, personally. Any interest in Schedule 1? The game? Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it yet, but it looks like it might be kind of fun. I have not played it yet, though, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. As long as that glaze is sodium-free. Hell no, you gotta put some sugar, and you gotta put some MSG in there for a demi-glaze. Okay? Like, I know what's what when it comes to a demi-glaze, okay? You ain't gonna trick me. I can't be tricked. About to do a long cross-country move, and you've never done a drive like this. Any advice? Yes. Well, take breaks when you need to. Like, there's rest stops and stuff. Like, driving tired is, like, exhausted is one of the most dangerous ways you can drive. So just don't do that. Be careful going from state to state. Some states are way more like you might be pulling up on a state line, cruising 10 miles an hour over the fucking speed limit, and there might be a fucking state smoky right there over the line waiting for you. You might, drive through a state where there's a way bigger presence of cops. Just kind of like stay with the flow of traffic. I know that's like general advice, but my whole kind of like thing is never be the fastest thing on the road, right? And typically cops are not going to fuck with you, especially when you're on highways and freeways and shit for most of it, right? Cork, Ireland. Well, my mom's side of the family is from County Kerry in Ireland. I'm currently in the United States on the West Coast. Yeah. Like, if you start to feel sleepy, you pull over somewhere, man. It ain't worth it. So that's what I would say is like, as you're moving, start to like take your fucking like, as you're driving, you had a long day of driving. When you start to feel like you're getting tired, pull over, take a look at where you're at, and start calling ahead to find yourself a fucking hotel room. Right? I mean, that's like the best way to do it. Hotels don't give a fuck. They'll let you check in at 2 a.m., right? You just call over, let them know you're on the road, you need a place to sleep tonight. Bloop. Get in there and do it. One in 5 in Ireland are immigrants. Yeah, yeah. That is pretty fucking wild. Can I mod you? Absolutely not. Yeah. Dude, there's never a problem. Get yourself a fucking Motel 6, Motel 8, a La Quinta or some shit. You know, it don't matter. What's my most sensitive moment this week? I think it was probably like the time I got in my feelings the most this week was when your mom told me that like I wasn't the biggest she'd ever been with. That was a blow. Because, whew, you know what I'm talking about? The way she hollers. I thought I was, but apparently I'm right in the mid scale. You know what I mean? Be angry if I looked like you too. Yeah, I bet you would. Right now you're just pussy, right? But if you looked like me, you'd be angry. Looking like you look now, you look pussy, right? Why don't you cam up and let's play Let's Find the Jawline. Let's do it. Why don't you pop out and show everybody that beautiful face. Is it snowing where I am? Motherfucker, does it look like it's snowing where I am? Are you blind? Your mom is all 20 years dead. I mean, dead is a state of mind, bro. Because that ass is still fat. You feel me? So. I love that, dude. That has been, since the 80s, that has been the preferred yo mama comeback for somebody that ain't got shit. You'll give them a fat, you give them your mama so fat, your mama this, I banged your mom, right? And they'll go like, actually, my mom's dead, though. And it's like, good. That bitch was dumb, too. You know what I mean? It's like, don't give me that. Don't, like, you think that's that's like holding up a fucking bulletproof shield? Do you think it's gonna bounce off of that? You're just giving me more shit to work with, homeboy. You don't know how this works, do you? See, the only way that this little micro interaction turns out well for you is if you keep your fucking mouth shut and it never happened, right? A lot of people don't get that. Like, they're used to people that get all like caught up when somebody says something impertinent. The only way you win that shit is to not talk. Pig, you know pigs, don't you? Tell us all about a pig. Free Palestine? Yeah, go ahead. Free it. Anybody else? Anybody else feeling froggish today? Anybody else scrolling around looking for a free dick whip to the face? Get them started this morning? Which cheek you like it on? Pipe up? Pipe up. Let's get it all out of our systems this morning. Can you come into my house? I mean, I kind of need you to. Like, I've been asking your mom to leave for weeks. She won't. So could you come get her? Somebody come get her. She's dancing like a stripper. Seems peaceful where I live. It is. It's beautiful and peaceful. Playing mushroom stand whack-a-mole this morning. Some people just want a mouthful. I'm happy to oblige. How do you boss up? You don't. You don't. People, like the term boss up doesn't exist. You're either a boss or you're not, right? The rare fart of humanity. Yeah. I'm gonna level up and get rich. I'm gonna be honest with you, Goon Squad Nate, and this is just like, I could not tell you this and let you go through your life. It's one of those questions, right? You're not gonna be rich, bro. You're not gonna be rich. I can see your aura from here, bro. And your aura is not rich. It just ain't gonna happen, man. I'm sorry. But at least now you know, you know? Does everyone think their opinion matters, and who's to judge what matters? Well, everybody gets to judge what matters to them personally, right? So, I know, Goon Squad. Hey, but at least I was fucking straight up with you. It's not gonna happen, dude. It's not gonna. I can just tell you right now, bro. You don't. It's just like, it's tough love, but it's just not gonna happen. Thoughts on the band Oasis. Step outside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play? Do I do any trapping? Yes. Paul, is it fair that Hawk Tua got famous overnight while you're out here streaming every day? Sure, yeah. Sure. Fame is not like something that's guaranteed for effort. You know what I mean? And it doesn't take any effort to get. Right? Like, it's something that is bestowed. Right? And Hawk Tua had it bestowed upon her, you know? Life is unfair. These mods are earning, yeah. Well, they're just people that like to hang out, and they're dedicated to the idea of keeping fucking sub-gump IQs up out of the chat. It's a 24/7, 365 job, you know what I mean? As you can see. You see how it goes? So many of you just absolutely failed the basic IQ test. Feel like they're deleting every comment? Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it can feel that way, right? It gives you an idea how much of the shit that just like grifts through on these lives is just absolute empty-headed brain rot bullshit. Like, literally all you have to do is talk like you've got a 75 IQ or higher. That's it. That's the only rule up in here. Are there any shows you're watching? Yeah. I'm watching Nip Tuck right now, which is like an older show. It's from the early 2000s. It's a Ryan Murphy show. So Ryan Murphy does American Crime Story, American Horror Story, that guy. And it was his first big show back in the early 2000s. And it's weird. It's a weird show. But I'm having, clearly I'm having fun with it because I keep watching it. But it is moral whiplash, the show, you know. What's it about? Nip Tuck is about these two, like, it really, like, saying what the show is about doesn't really tell you what it's about. But it's like a soap opera based around two plastic surgeons that live in Miami. So it's like based in Florida. There are these two high-end plastic surgeons and all of the shenanigans they get up to, right? But it's definitely like, if you, and a lot of people didn't, if you ever grew up like watching a soap opera with your mom, like I did, you know, when it was mom's turn on the TV, she put on the soap opera, you know what I mean? And so this show, Nip Tuck, it's 100% a soap opera. It's just like All My Children or General Hospital, but it's presented in a more realistic format, right? Thanks for the $5, Danzo. Appreciate it. Is this live with Mike Oxmall? I mean, come on, dude. I'm older than your granny's panties, bro. You think you're gonna get me with Mike Oxmall? I mean, come on, bro. Yeah, it's a smutty soap opera, but done with, you know, like a modern kind of eye to it, right? So instead of it, but it definitely sticks to that same formula of like recurring characters and just like wild run-ins with the law and crazy fucking schemes and backstabbings. There's a murder mystery going on in all of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's 100%. And I think it's kind of brilliant for that, but it creates this kind of whiplash effect when you're watching it, because the way the show is shot and the way the characters are introduced, you feel like you know kind of what they're capable of. But Ryan Murphy retains that soap opera thing where like character development doesn't really matter. What a character says or professes to believe on this episode has nothing to do with what that character will do later in the episode or, you know, later in the season, right? And so it's definitely just like a whiplash type of show. It's on Hulu, I think, is where we're watching it. So you could do Hulu. Rooster, come on, dude. You're too meek, mild, and scaredy to ever have a body on you, bro. Like, nobody is buying the flex. Nobody. Everybody knows that you're pussy. You don't have to try and flex or front here. It's good. It's good, bro. Dude, it would be like the most shattering day in your life if you vocally stood up for yourself in public. You don't have a body on you, bro. Like, if you stood up for yourself vocally in public, it would be the big dick day of your life thus far. You don't got a body on you, bro. Let's be real. Let's be real. Oh, D. Oh, dirty D. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious the negatives that the internet can be used for, right? Not sure if you have any interest in picking up the new Monster Hunter, but if you do, I don't know. I kind of switch around from Monster Hunter to Monster Hunter. I think the one that I have the most experience with is probably just the Lance. Like, that was the first one I picked up in 3U. So I feel like I'm pretty good with the Lance. But I'll do hunting horn, I'll do heavy bow gun. I tend to like, kind of the weirder options. I know, thanks for reminding me. No problem. That's my job. The only people that scroll through here and stop long enough to hear a sentence that I say are people that need to hear something. You know what I mean? They need a little fucking reality check, I think. I think that's kind of the type, whether they think they need it or not, I think that's kind of the people that get caught in this trap, right? Because you are in here with me. I'm not in here with you. Okay. Do you know what's going on with 4chan? No. I've never been a 4chan dork, so I don't follow the 4chans. Too stupid to participate. I'm just going to kick back for a minute or two, and I'm just going to watch the amount of people that cruise through that have a provable sub 75 IQ. If you ever see somebody get banned out of here, that's the only thing that people get banned out of here for, is if I feel like you're just too stupid to carry on a human conversation. So just watch. It gets wild. How's it going there, Spino? Yep. Like, I don't care what you talk about. I'm all about the banter. I'm all about, you want to sling some insults, we can do that. But brother, you have to be able to read a book. Like, that's the, you must be this tall, kind of sign on this stream. Is like, if I hand you an average book, you got to be able to read a chapter and summarize it. You know what I'm talking about? Do I believe in the supernatural? No, not really. How often are you in the Discord voice channels? Usually a couple times a day. At least, yeah. Was in there for a while yesterday. A couple hours, just kind of like hanging out. But you see what I mean? Like, if you've been listening and you've been watching the chat, look at how many people can't meet the minimum standard of participation in here. Just keep count. Like, that is what I've asked my mods to do, is to ban anybody who represents as having lower than a fucking Forrest Gump IQ. So why poltergeist? Because I think it's a cool use of my name. You know what I mean? My name is Paul, so I chose poltergeist. Oh, yeah. That's fine. Ghoul, no worries. Yeah, just hit me up. Your thoughts on the dark forest theory? I think it's a plausible reason why we don't see the evidence of advanced civilizations in our telescopy, right? Like when we look out into the universe, we don't see these kind of signs of advanced civilization. We haven't received any verifiable signals from a civilization, right? But if you talk to scientists, in the trillions of stars and the multiple trillions of fucking planets that are involved in that, there should be, millions of civilizations at or below our level of technology at the very least, right? So why don't we hear from them? And there are a lot of answers that could give that. The greatest answer is just sheer distance, right? It might be really relatively common in terms of the entire universe, but uncommon in terms of spacing. Another idea for why we don't hear from aliens, if they are so common and so likely, is the Great Filter. If you've ever heard about the Great Filter, it's this idea that civilizations, as they become more scientifically knowledgeable and as they kind of start to unravel the secrets of the universe, come upon some sort of technology that destroys them before they can reach the next level of technology, right? That's the Great Filter. This idea that there's some secret behind things, that if you delve into it, you can tap into a power that's so great that it destroys your civilization, right? So that's the Great Filter. And then there's, the dark forest or the dark jungle, I've heard it called both, is this idea that, there are other species out there, but they are largely predatory species, meaning that they are more advanced than us and that they are multiplanetary or interplanetary or interstellar even, right? They can move through the galaxy and they are listening for these types of civilizations so that they can descend upon them and harvest them, right? Feed upon them, kidnap them, and enslave them, whatever you want to come up with, right? And so that's the dark forest theory, is the idea that the reason we don't hear anybody around us is because there are the things that are around us are currently coming for us, if they're aware of us, right? So we're being stalked like prey, right? It is entirely possible that a species has evolved that is multistellar, right? That can travel interstellar space, but does so very slowly. So think of a species of alien that hibernates, right? And so let's say that they detected our planet 200 years ago at the dawn of, early attempts at communication, like mass communication. Let's say that they identified our planet as having life on it. And 200 years ago, set up a big invasion fleet, loaded it up with aliens, right, for the invasion. They all got into cryo sleep or went into a hibernation chamber or went into deep freeze or whatever. And these semi-conventional, spaceships that can travel a third of light speed or something like that, right, just kind of cruise their way over, right? Well, it wouldn't be the moment a civilization pipes up, but it's like the civilization piping up is the mistake that it made in the woods, right? So if you think of a civilization as being, and this is why the theory I think has some credence to it. It's like we see what I'm talking about in the forest, in the desert, right? We see it here. We see how life treats other life here on this planet, right? And we're talking about speciation of a common ancestor here on this planet. So we're all cousins, and we're brutal to one another, right? And when I say we, I don't just mean humans. I mean birds and bees and bears and animals of all kinds, right? There's a brutal, brutal predation, right? But we presume, for some reason, even though we are the apex predator on our planet, and that's kind of how we secured our place, right? We presume somehow that aliens are going to be these peaceful little weaklings and not the apex predator of their planet, right? So, you know what I'm talking about? Rooster, are you still trying, man? Are you still trying to salvage a dub out of this L, bro? You haven't learned. You're not going to get a dub. You can't get a dub in here, bro. You got handled like 20 minutes ago. We've moved way down the fucking line, bro. You're not gonna salvage a dub out of this. You got it? I hate to be the guy to have to tell you again, but quit being adversarial. Quit trying to scrape a dub out of a big, fat, flashing neon L and participate, or you're going to get banned. That'll be your last warning, bro. You can suck up your little bruised ego, and you can participate in the conversation, or you can get escorted out of the conversation like a little fucking kid that gets sent down to the office. It's 100% your choice. Act like a bitch or act like a man. It's A or B. You choose. You're giving him a dub just by replying. 1 minute dub. Bro, this idea that you can get dunked on, right? And then you turn around and go like, I won because you paid attention. That's literally like the wavelength toddlers operate on, bro. This idea that me paying attention to a person and handling them, right, is somehow a dub for that person is based on a worldview that you probably would share with the average toddler. I do bad thing, it get me attention. I do what I'm told not to do, it get me attention. So go ahead and explain that dub to me, Tony. Now the Eye of Sauron has moved to you. Now we're going to talk it. I'm going to let you one guy me. Regale me. I'm going to let you one guy me, Tony. Regale me. Give me the explanation of how you create a dub in your mind out of that. Getting manhandled in front of 120 people, right? And that's somehow a dub for the person laying in a puddle. Two coats. So, I don't know. Brought him back, resurrected from the dead. One guy me, bro. Explain this dub. Explain the worldview that sets up this dub that you're claiming. Okay, next topic, go. You don't get to decide the topic. The topic is Tony right now. The topic is Tony. The topic is Tony explaining this dub. Go ahead. Oh my God, man, let it go. You lost that one. So that's not explaining the dub. That's claiming the dub again. I'll give you one more chance. I'll give you one more chance. Use it wisely, because this is your one guy time. Right? Your next thing should be very well thought out. Where you at? Yeah, is the dub in the room with us? Yawn, next topic. Take the dub or DC from the net FFS. Take the dub? I think I will. I think I will take the dub. Thanks. See ya. There you go. In some people's minds, what just happened was a dub. Yeah, bro told me to take the dub. I know. Don't mind if I do. I was doing that anyway. Next. Do you think white people are fairly represented in basketball? Huh? What? Me got attention. Me got a dub. Yeah. Skibbity toilet type fucking thought process there, bro. You played it. It's like smearing yourself with shit and then laughing at everybody when they fucking step back from you in horror. You know what I mean? That's the dub. You're standing there covered in your own shit and people are repulsed by it. Man, hold that dub, bro.
I don't know why I messed with this one.
It's a true piece of shit.
So they're free, I guess.
Yep. Hold that dub. Yeah, dude, hold the dub, he said. Oh, shit.
I looked at the plot synopsis of that movie that we were watching last night, and it is
It's the
kind
thing.
of thing.
It's the thing. Yep. I don't want to watch the thing again.
It doesn't go in the same direction as the thing.
I'm
but
sure
it's
it has
the
a twist,
monster
but
is
right.
the thing.
Yeah, it's the thing. It takes over other things. That's all I needed to know. It's the thing. Tony never had the makings of a varsity athlete. What movie?
Significant Other.
Significant Other. Yeah.
Apparently, the only twist is that, you know, it doesn't necessarily absorb, it captures and imitates perfectly.
I mean, that's basically what the fucking thing does.
Yeah.
Come on. You can't just make the thing again. You can't. You can't make the thing. I'm not going to watch the thing again, man. How do you think screens are changing human behavior? Fucking take a look. You know, I start these up to just talk about whatever people are thinking about, and half the time I spend tard wrangling. That should fucking answer. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that should answer your question. Too much screen time equals, you know, adults having to tard wrangle other adults online. That's basically the outcropping.
Teachers are complaining that kids are way worse behaved now.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're coming into their grade levels completely unprepared for beginning remedial grade level shit where they go back over the stuff in the grade before. Kids can't even get there. Yeah, it's fucked. And I really do. Now I think that there's one culprit to all of this. It's parents. But I think one of the things that parents have done that is destructive is it's all too easy to hand something like this to your children, right? And I have never seen an instance in which that's a good thing for a child. I'm still waiting to run into the child that's a whiz because his mom handed him the iPad. You know what I'm talking about? It seems to just shut down socialization. It seems to create, it infantilizes. It seems to create people that are operating mentally way below grade level, right? And that's being borne out in, you know, you just listen to teachers nowadays, right?
Because
Like,
the computer is different, because you can't, like, just bring that with you everywhere.
right. Well, the screen thing, you know, I mean, look, when I was a kid, we considered it very boomerish because, you know, my parents' generation and the generation before that would say TV rots your brains, TV will fucking make you stupid and slack
But
jawed.
you can't lug your TV around everywhere with you.
That's true, but we do have long-term studies for these latchkey kids who are raised by the TV, and none of them are good. None of them state that a kid that was raised sitting in front of a fucking TV all day has a good outlook on life, is mentally prepared to handle life, is operating at grade level. All of these things suffer. There's a higher instance of anxiety and depression amongst kids that were raised in my generation with too much TV. So it turns out that in a way, the boomers were right. That screen time that we spent instead of socializing, doing normal kid stuff, right?
Now we have the TV in our hands.
And now the TV goes in your pocket. And you
always
hand it
watch a
hand
little-
it to your kid to keep them quiet.
What the shorts, just endless
Right.
scrolling. You always have something to watch.
And so my thought process on this, and it's going to take a while because this is relatively new and you have to do long-term studies to really understand what it's done to human beings. And those studies are currently being done. And when they start to hit, there's going to be a fucking sea change. But until then,
well,
you know
the
what I'm
problem is it's just as addictive for adults as kids. So I think that's
right.
Yeah.
But an adult brain is a formed brain.
Yeah.
Addiction in an adult brain is different than addiction in a child brain that's still developing. So it is going to be...
But I think that's why parents are resistant to not do the phone. It's like, because then it makes them feel bad.
Yeah.
Because they have to admit that they're
Right.
addicts.
Right. Well, that's going to be the big problem. There's going to be a whole generation of people who are standing on business that they were right to hand to their child this shit, and they're going to keep doing it, right? Because nobody's going to tell them that they were wrong. So it's going to be pretty fucked up. So yeah, that's how I feel about the screen shit. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty detrimental to a lot of adults, and I think it's 100% always detrimental to children. I can't think of a single positive reason that you would expose your child to social media and modern technology in that way, other than to retard them, literally, functionally. I've seen it. You know what I mean? I think that there is a horrible, horrible interaction with ASD and screen time. I don't know that screen time necessarily causes ASD, but I think it massively exacerbates it. I think that there is a comorbidity to online, like internet addiction or device addiction and autism. 110%. This guy working his way to diabetic failure. I'm just fine, bro. Clean bill of health from my doctor, homeboy. You ain't got to worry about me. Well, see, that's the thing, is when people hear shit they don't want to hear, they want to beat down the messenger. Bro, me being fat doesn't make any of this fucking shit untrue. You know what I mean? I know you don't want to hear it. Maybe you're a parent that's currently doing that. Maybe you're a young person who was raised that way and you just don't want to admit that you're behind. And when I say behind, I mean behind in the way that you think. I mean, you're like 2 grade levels behind. You're a couple of years of instruction behind everybody else, and you're not gaining ground, you're losing it. Other people are building upon that instruction that you didn't get, and you've got no foundation. You keep building a house of sticks, and it keeps getting blown over. And that's going to be your whole ass life, right? Kind of sucks. Kind of sucks, man. Kind of rough. Ugh. Oh, goodness. Oh, thanks, Danzo. That's very kind of you. Can I ask why you dropped the 50 bomb? Not that I'm bitching. I'm just asking. Is it just a howdy, hi there, and hello, and thanks for the entertainment type of deal? No way this is the same spot from last night? Yeah, it's the same exact spot, bro. Here's where I was last night. Here's where I am today, and here's where I'll be tomorrow. That's the way it works, bud. Belated birthday gift. Thanks, bud. It's very nice of you. Very nice. You won't do an onion nuggets tonight? Nah, I don't feel like it. Of course we're doing fucking onion nuggets tonight. Of course. Same bat time, same bat channel. I forgot where we were in the cycle. No worries. I was just giving you shit. Yeah, we're doing it, bud. Tonight at the usual time. Are there werewolves in my forest? You know what? There is something out here. And I'm not even joking, dude. No exaggeration. There's something out here. I don't know what the fuck it is. It comes out late and it makes some fucked up noises. So I don't know what it is. No, I have not seen it. But it makes some crazy vocal noises. Kind of sounds like something screaming. Maybe not screaming. You know, like making it, like just going. But that's not a good representation, but it sounds like that, kind of. Like an old lady having an emphysema attack or some shit. And so I don't fuck around, bro. When I'm out here at like 2, because I never hear it unless it's like 2 in the morning. If it's like 2 in the morning, that's when I'll hear this fucking thing, whatever it is. And yeah, I'm not interested in really knowing. I just move inside when I hear it. Because, yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. I mean, it would make sense if there's a cougar. I mean, I live out in the woods, you know what I mean? So definitely in that zone where there would be a cougar. There's also black bears. I'm far enough north that maybe a grizzly, maybe, probably not a grizzly bear, but black bear, mountain lion, or cougar, coyotes, and wolves. Do I have bear spray? No, I don't. A guy can project. He can. Yeah, if your biggest worry is a fox, you're all right. You know what I mean? Foxes, but a fox will make some weird ass fucking noise for sure. Foxes will make some weird noises. Think of a playing card, but don't say it. Okay. Done. What's next? I got it in my head. Did you think of the ace of spades and possibly switch to a 7 of hearts in your mind? No, I did not. Still got that card in my mind, though. I went with the first one that came to my mind. Should I say it now? Nope. Nope. Like, people, there's a lot of guesses. Nope. My pick was the 4 of clubs. The 4 of clubs was my pick. But nice try. That didn't work out very well. Why that one? It was just the first card that came to my mind. He was like, think of a card, but don't say it. And in my mind, it said 4 of clubs. And I said, okay. That's what happened. Five of hearts. Yeah, there you go. There's probably some mentalist trick where there's a card that the average person thinks of. Or maybe it's a number of cards that the average person thinks of, right? They go like ace of spades, or then like, no, that's too easy. Jack of clubs, or whatever, right? There's probably some shit like that. It's like a little mentalist trick. It's one of those things where like the average human being will give a similar answer, and so it can really wow people when you come up with it. But you can almost always defeat these types of things by just picking an obscure card. Just don't pick like the Queen of Hearts, the King of Hearts, the Ace of Spades, or any ace really, right? Don't pick a face card, pick a numbered card, pick a 7 of clubs, pick a 7 of diamonds, something like that, right? Pick a diamond at all. That's probably a lot less common. Yeah, there's a bias for certain numbers in logical thinking, especially given the types of things that your average person uses numbers for, right? And so, mentalism, a part of that can be just exploiting those logical similarities between people and making it feel like magic, right? Thoughts on the Katy Perry space mission? I don't know much about it. I know Katy Perry went to space. There you go. What if I'm thinking a card that doesn't exist in the deck? They never account for that. Well, then you're not playing fair, right? The whole idea is you're supposed to think of a card and they're supposed to guess it, right? So there's a limited amount of cards. Is what, 52 cards in a deck, right? So, you know what I mean? That limits you. But yeah, mentalism is kind of crazy when you look into it. It really is. Learning some psychological trickery, learning how to lead a person psychologically, and learning some of these commonalities and logical consistencies between human thinking, right? That feel very personal but are actually very widespread. Like learning these things and how to apply them, along with the art of conversation and misdirection and rapport building that comes with that, can be a very powerful tool. It can make, well, it takes a type of empathic intelligence. It really does require a person to be able to step in to the shoes in a limited capacity of another person. So it's kind of neat in that way. It's also something that, like, a little bit of education can help you spot when somebody's doing this to you really easily, right? But that's the problem. Well, I mean, there's a number of ways that you can fudge psychicness, right? So there's a movie called, have you guys seen the movie Nightmare Alley? There's a really neat scene in it about mentalism. In fact, it's a movie about mentalism. This idea of using these little psychological gags and tricks to make people feel like you have a psychic power, or that a ghost is telling you something, right? And this guy who works at a carnival is kind of learning from this old mentalist guy that's been traveling with the carnival. And the mentalist is able to figure out some things about the guy just based on a watch. And you know, the guy is kind of blown away with how much insight he feels this guy has. And the guy explains it to him, you know what I mean? No son has a great relationship with their father. It's always, you know, at the end of the day, it's always the father, right? And this is just a human truth, right, that people hold very personally because, you know, they have very complex feelings about their father. And men in particular have, if you talk to a man about their relationship with their father and they're honest about it, typically it's a very kind of strange, maybe rocky, contentious kind of relationship, right? And this is just a human truth. This applies across the board, right? This is something that you can use as a mentalist. Now, if I just sat you down and went like, all right, I'm a psychic, you and your father have a tough relationship, right? You're going to go like, yeah, well, me and everybody else. It's not about it's not about presenting the information. It's about how you present the information. So that's mentalism, right? It's about presenting the information in a way that feels personal, but it's really just a generalized observation based on your knowledge of human psychological patterns and logical consistencies. a lot of psychics that do the cold read technique will have these conversations with people and are very good observers of human body language. They will be paying attention. They will ask questions that are seemingly unrelated to the topic, but they will pay attention to how you physically and vocally and visibly react to different types of topics. And they will infer a whole lot about you from that, right? Just a simple getting to know you type of conversation that doesn't feel like they're pumping you for information is in fact, they're studying every syllable out of your mouth, right? They're watching every twitch of your eyebrow, every nervous movement of your hand. As they go through these topics, they zero in on something that is psychologically broad in you, and then they personalize it. So that's how psychics work, 100%. Right? That's, well, cold read. Then there's the hot read technique, as far as I understand it, is you've got somebody like a plant, or you have gathered information on a person that you otherwise shouldn't know without their knowledge, and you present that information, right, in a way that makes it look like you're fucking totally psychic, but really all you did was just look into the person beforehand, right? But that's the way it works. And it's a fun game if you know you're playing a game, right? I think like one of the morals of the story, if there is one, you know, of the movie I was talking about, Nightmare Alley, is, you know, don't make it real, right? Because when you make it real, you're gonna drive somebody insane. Like, there are certain people that have a massive need to believe in the supernatural, and if you play into it too hard, you're going to create a monster, right? I don't know. It's just a neat idea. Anywho, I'm done. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you some other fucking time.